I'm sure, universal access. But I want to draw attention to the fact that we should not make confusion about his topic. He mentioned universal acceptance. So I just want to clarify that universal acceptance. We used to say UA, universal acceptance. No, universal acceptance of what? Universal acceptance of what? Universal acceptance of domain names. Universal acceptance of domain names. Because in the session in the morning before we went to break, Mohammed mentioned that even from the presentation of my colleague Bob, since 2012 now, we have domain names which are longer, not longer now. Generally, we have two codes for countries. For Ghana, which one is the code? Who can give me for his country? Cameroon? Can you give me for your country the two code character? Which country? GH. Cameroon? CM. Which country again? NG for Nigeria. So my point is that, you see, there are two characters. So during the presentation in the morning, in 2012, even before that, we have more longer characters. .Africa, for example, how many characters? I cannot count. Africa, 6? 6 or 7? Okay, Mr. Lucky will correct me. So they say 6. So Africa is 6. So what I'm saying, giving this detail is now, Bob mentioned that also, and also Mohammed said that, now we are having domain names in characters, not limited only to ASCII characters. So you have countries in Africa today, they have domain names in Arabic. They have domain names in Arabic. So Mauritania, you have the country code in ASCII for Mauritania. You have also the domain name for Mauritania in Arabic. Egypt, you have the same thing. Morocco, you have MA for Morocco, and then you have also that domain name in Arabic. So the problem ICANN is trying to solve is that the community wanted domain names in their own characters. So now ICANN is helping the community so that people can communicate. So if someone using an email address with a domain in Arabic, if your system is not ready, the person will send you a message in English. The message will be in English. But just because the domain name that person is using in Arabic, you will not get the message in English. So someone will send you a message with a Chinese domain name. The address, one part of the address is from the domain name. So someone, for example, can send you a message in English, but because the person is using an email address and the domain name is not just in ASCII, you may not receive it. So if you don't receive it, we say that your system is not universal acceptance ready. So I want to invite you to pay attention to announcement on ICANN website. Generally, we talk about Universal Acceptance Day, UA Day. So anytime you hear this announcement, UA Day in your country, please try to participate in this activity, UA Day, because during these sessions, you'll see how you can make your system ready. Please, if you go back to ICANN website and you read about universal acceptance, there is a tool today. When you put the email address, you can put the email address of an entity in your country. If the email system is not ready, they will get the result. Then you can pick your phone, talk to these people. You can tell them, talk to ICANN people, and then we can see how to help them. So AAU now is leading this effort within the Coalition for Digital Africa with academia. So he mentioned that they have more than 400 members, and then according to what he presented, I see more than 300 university systems are ready. He mentioned website. Why? Because when you have a website, like a form on your website or newspaper, if someone has an email address, not simply in ASCII, but in other languages, and your system is telling the person or a university, enter your email address, so your system will tell the person if it's not ready that, okay, enter a correct email address. But that address is correct because your system is not ready. It's not just a question of language, it's also a question of length. So people doing programming, also is something important for them to know that the length of the domain name, the top level domain name, can be longer, and also the domain name can be in other scripts. So I want to stop there before we move to the other partners to listen from them. We want to open the floor for questions and comment before we have the other partners in the Coalition for Digital Africa. Please, you can come to the microphone or you can put the question in the chat room. Please, over to you. Any question? Clarification? Or is it confusing? He said he did a good job. so everything is clear. So who can tell me if his system is ready? How can you know that your system is ready? Now, this is a question to the floor now. How can you know? It's not just a question of the universities, this topic. It's a question for everyone, every institution, every internet user. So being ready, universal attempt ready, is not just a question of universities. So if you have your system, your organization, you have an email system or you have a website, your website should be ready. We are not limited. We are not talking about universities only. He was presenting the case of universities. So any question? Comment? So they say that it is very clear. So let's applaud Mr. Frank. So I'll test many email addresses from your institution later to see if they are ready. So if they are not ready, I'll send you an email and we can see how we can communicate and to make them ready. So with that, I want to invite to the floor another partner of the coalition to join us here, Mr. Jean-Baptiste Milogo. He's from ISOC. So ISOC is one of the partners here. So I will invite Mr. Jean-Baptiste Milogo. We are also expecting other partners, but I want to invite Jean-Baptiste briefly to sit down, and then I will give him the microphone to tell us what they are doing first in the project, what they are doing in this project within the Coalition of Digital Africa. So, as I mentioned, one of the partners is Association for African Universities. The project was Universal Acceptance Readiness with Academia. So, another project with a partner is about the Internet Exchange Point. But first, what is an Internet Exchange Point? What is that? It's a cable or what is it?
Thanks, Shawobi, and thanks to ICANN and CDA team for giving this opportunity to talk more about what we are doing as partners. So the Internet Exchange Points...
excuse me, I forgot to talk to me. What is ISOC first? And then you talk about what is ISOC?
No problem.
Yeah, Internet Society.
Thank you. So I'm Jean-Baptiste Milogo. I work for Internet Society as Director, Internet Technology and Development, most focused on African region. And our work related to infrastructure development, so exchange point or also policy work. We can also engage with country to go to share some best practices who can help to develop or to refresh some regulatory framework. We are also working in our side to connect or to support, to bring online those who are not connected. And in our region, we have those target communities. So Internet Society is a global organization. I think we talk about on this today, but I think tomorrow we'll have more opportunity to go through some of our projects where we are supporting communities.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So let's come back to, so tomorrow we have as ICANN Day, tomorrow we'll have ISOC Day. So we'll have a lot of information about ISOC tomorrow. So he wants to come back to our topic, the project we are working on together. And you was started by Exchange Point when I stopped him. So you can now tell us about it first and then the project.
So, thank you. So first of all, you all know that when you want to go to internet, you use your, I would say, your local access to be able to browse, to go to check some content. And basically, those content could not be, and sometimes are not localized in your region, and you use networks to go enrich them maybe of a site. But this brings some issue in terms of latency. It means that it takes you a long time to get access to content, but it also brings some financial issue. For operator, it's a lot of investment. National, I will say, national backbone or a metro ring in the city and to get access to those content. So with an exchange point, what we try to do in short word is to bring a national operator to talk each other in the country. Because in general, for a long time, people were trying to be connected outside the country. It means that if I'm MTN here, I want to talk digitally perspective with someone from Vodafone or from Airtel Tigo. It means that we go outside, we pay the road, we pay everything, and for our customer, it is a long time. So when we try to connect in the city, in the same country, in the same switch fabric, it will help us when I have a content at the MTN side and I'm from Vodafone, we don't need to go outside. It will maybe save us, it brings some saving in terms of the path you are using to talk each other. But for our customer, it improves the experience. So for me, Internet Exchange Point is this kind of infrastructure where provider or internet provider talk in the same country, exchange data, and they bring value to the market. They contribute to create a local market of content where we can maybe bring our content there and make things more available and better internet to the customer. So just a junction where provider or content provider, internet service provider can exchange traffic locally to make internet better, to make it maybe more accessible, and to build a kind of local market for content, for our local content. So.
Thank you, Jean-Baptiste. I think we all understand now the exchange point. So what he means is that he said we should, our operators, people now are exchanging locally. They talk locally. They don't have to talk through outside. So if I can say that, so they talk locally. So my question, in this project, the Exchange Point project, was a new point you added, or were you working with previous organization or Internet Exchange Point? Can you briefly tell us what you have achieved through this partnership in the coalition?
Thank you, Yaovi. So basically, our contribution here was we commit with ICANN through the Coalition for Digital Africa to support 5 IXP in 3 years. And so starting 2022. So up to now, I think some of the numbers have been shared in the first presentation, but up to now, what we have achieved, it 3 countries have been fully supported: Benin, Rwanda, and Malawi. And currently, we do have 2 other countries ongoing. There was only one on the presentation, which was Madagascar, but we have now we are now supporting Gabon. So, but I would like here maybe to take this opportunity to explain a little bit how we come to select those countries, because the IXP funding from our perspective is still ongoing, and it's good to let community know how we proceed for those who want to apply for next opportunity. So in general, at ISOC, the funding opportunity is managed by the foundation. And we do have up to now 2 call for application per year in January and also somewhere in July, where new exchange point, new community or new organization who want to maybe apply for can apply. But we also support some existing exchange point because for some reason, some of them are not growing as expected for governance issue, for technical issue. So those organizations can also apply. So, and when they apply, there is some external expert from the community who assess the application, and the foundation will assess, will go through a kind of due diligence to be sure that the proposal is something we can fund and we can have some results. So basically, that is how we proceed for all our funding and proposal. And when we fund a community, so to reply to one of your questions, the 5 countries we are supporting now, there is some existing IX. For example, Rwanda RICTA is an existing IX. RENEX, we support them with capacity building. In Malawi, there was an existing IX in Blantyre, but the plan was to help them to develop another one in Lilongwe. So for Malawi, it is a new one, but running by an existing IX community. For Benin, it is a new one. For those who know Benin, there was Benin X, but for some reason, there was a need to develop a new one, and they call it COTIX, like Cotonou X. So for Benin, it is a new one. And for Madagascar and Gabon, it is a support to existing community. Because for those who know Madagascar, I think there is a need to refresh the equipment, maybe to support them with the capacity building. So to summarize, we support new and existing, it depends on the context, and also when the application go through the process and they have been granted.
Thank you very much, Ambassador. Do we have questions in the room for Jean-Baptiste? Or is someone online with a question to Jean-Baptiste? Please, you can go to the microphone if you want to ask a question. I see there's no question. Oh, please, you can go to the microphone for a question to Jean-Baptiste.
Thank you.
Please, we have also AU, if you have a question also, so you can ask them the question, or
Okay.
to June. Go ahead.
I think you're from Smart Africa, please.
No,
I'm from Internet Society.
Internet Society,
Internet
sorry.
Society.
Yeah.
Okay. What about the regional ISPs? Because our traffic still goes to from West Africa to, is it London Exchange of France? And then, first, it's impact on the cost and also the delivery and service experience. So I know that you are talking about the countries, but what of the regional IXPs?
Thank you. Jean-Baptiste?
Yeah, thank you. So this is a very good question because I have seen this conversation at, I think at ECOWAS in Abuja, but also at African Union. Our take on this is maybe a little bit, maybe you need to explain. For us, based on the experience, trying to build a regional exchange point it may be an option, but we can do it differently. Because when we try to develop national exchange point, several exchange points, for example, in South Africa, you have several exchange points, sometimes in the same city. If you take Accra here, I know that there is 2 exchange points. If you take Nigeria, we have a growth of, there is several exchange points, and I think IXPN have shown that there is a lot of value in this market with the level of traffic this year. So for us, if we manage to have good and perfect national exchange point, the regional one will come naturally. Because where you will see value, you cannot, when you try to develop somewhere a regional thing, it means that you will need to build some, I would say you will need to invest in some infrastructure. But if you help each national exchange point of, if exchange point everywhere, anywhere they are and they grow, and the community know that they need to be all connected. In some countries, we have a lot of network. Maybe all of them are not connecting on the exchange point yet. So there is a work maybe we can do. And naturally, somewhere, some upstream from Ghana will maybe drop a traffic in Nigeria for some reason because there is a content there, and it will maybe increase the level of traffic between Ghana and Nigeria. And if we go like this, you will see that in some period, we'll have a kind of concentration of services, of content somewhere, and it becomes natural. It's like airport. When we built airport, sometimes we make a comparison between international exchange point and airport. When you build airport, you need to bring value. You need maybe to have a lot of flag coming there, and they will bring some value. So our take on this is maybe, I think, different on what have been the narrative around this regional exchange point now, but maybe let's build by block, and each block will maybe see some value somewhere, and they will create a kind of ecosystem naturally, and we will see. Because if you take IXPN now, today, maybe some year back, the level of performance they have today was different. But when they have more and more members, some content provider will come there, and when they come there, they create a kind of marketplace, and this will maybe push someone from Burkina maybe to drop traffic in Ghana and Nigeria instead of trying to collect this traffic from Europe. And maybe naturally, we will find where the big market is. So our comment on this is in this direction. We need to have strong exchange point. Most of them currently need maybe sometime good governance, technical fine-tuning, switch fabric, maybe the switch is not, maybe the plan is not maybe very high to support the need. So we think that we need maybe to go in that side before going to the regional construction.
Thank you very much. I hear you. But the truth is that those that are ready, and I think that's how you will attract others in the region. Like in West Africa, if we have some countries that are ready, their exchange points are working, and we try to establish a regional exchange point as a project. I know that others other countries will come to realize that there's a value in that the countries that have joined, their traffic or their costs of trafficking or of moving traffic has reduced drastically, and also they have more experience. Because there are some that you drag, some countries that you drag, and they will not come up. But I believe that the regional exchange point is very critical if we are to develop our regional data exchange first, and also digital economy. And we are talking about e-commerce, and if that e-commerce can work in our region, I think we need that regional exchange point. We are asking Internet Society to consider that. Thank you.
Thank you. Maybe
comment?
one more comment. I think I clearly understand, Mary, what you have shared. One thing also we want to highlight here, when you request exchange point in Ghana to be connected to exchange point in Burkina, or to be connected to exchange point in Nigeria or in Ivory Coast, you will need to consider that there is maybe a new transmission path cost you will add on the exchange point operational cost. And this will bring some kind of fees for members. But when you check currently, if I take Burkina, we are connecting through Ghana, through Ivory Coast, through Togo or Benin. So it means that if today we want to be connected or we want to use some traffic available in Ghana, the upstream, maybe our provider are using, they just need to request to the provider in Ghana, please, as you are connecting to Ghana exchange point, can you advertise my prefix there? Which means that if in the past I was taking this content with a long path, I will now drop it in Ghana and take it. And I'm sure that some providers here in Ghana are also available in Nigeria, which means that if for some reason, from my packet analysis, I have seen that there is an interest for my customer to access to some content in Nigeria, I just need to select a good upstream who can drop me in Ghana and drop me in Nigeria, because they are connecting there and advertise my prefix there. Taking like this, it means that as consumer or as infrastructure owner in Burkina, my traffic can be, I can take traffic in Nigeria and in Ghana. It depends on how I manage to select first my upstream, what kind of analysis I'm doing on my data to be sure that it's more better for me to be connected in that side or in that side. So that is why we are saying that maybe we can maybe proceed step by step. I'm confident that we'll achieve maybe what we call today regional exchange point, but there is currently some provision we can use to be sure that the traffic remain locally in the same country, in the same region, without maybe adding a new structure. But there is some provision. We can do it because we are all connecting. There is a cross-border connectivity currently. So maybe we need to check deeply and see how we can improve the way we are maybe using or we are accessing to some data. And this can be some step, and later we can maybe go to another level, and because the market will maybe drive us to another side. Thank you.
Thank you very much. For those who are joining us, we are in a session on Coalition for Digital Africa. So we hear from an association of African universities of one of the projects, which is universal acceptance readiness within academia, and then another project by the Internet Society. Before we move to another partner, I have a question I want to read in French. So if you don't mind, you take your equipment. I will read in French. It is in the chat room, a question. Est-il possible d'avoir un point d'échange africain où tous les pays africains peuvent se connecter et limiter les trafics entre les pays? I think this is a question to also like link to what you were trying to respond to before. If you can maybe give a brief answer to that one, to that question.
So I will maybe reply in French because...
Okay, the answer will be also in French.
Yeah, okay. So, merci beaucoup pour votre question. Si je comprends bien, vous demandez si on peut avoir un point d'échange où tous les pays africains sont connectés. Votre question rejoint un peu la question de Madame Marie sur la nécessité d'un point d'échange régional. Ce que je disais ou ce que je peux dire ici, c'est qu'un point d'échange, d'abord, c'est pour pouvoir permettre aux opérateurs de se connecter dans un endroit donné. Ça peut être un pays, ça peut être une région, pour pouvoir communiquer localement et réduire le temps d'accès à l'information. Et puis, mettre du contenu qui peut être accessible et apporter une meilleure expérience aux utilisateurs. Maintenant, lorsqu'il vient de créer un point d'échange, je dirais, centralisé, ça voudrait dire qu'il va falloir choisir quelque part un point où on va demander, où on fera en sorte que les pays soient connectés là-bas. Comme vous le voyez, cela va nécessiter une mise en place de systèmes de transmission de chaque pays vers le point central, si c'est vu ainsi. Donc, cela va amener, je dirais, un surcoût c'est comme si on fait une surcouche dans une connectivité interpays qui est déjà là. Ce que nous disons, c'est que si aujourd'hui les pays sont connectés tel qu'on le voit entre eux par la fibre, si vous êtes dans un pays A, donc vous devez vous assurer d'abord d'être connecté à votre point d'échange dans le pays pour pouvoir profiter de tout l'environnement local. Et ensuite, choisir correctement votre fournisseur d'accès, le upstream comme on l'appelle, pour voir s'il peut laisser vous faire profiter d'un trafic dans un pays qui trafique parce que ce trafic vous est intéressant. Si on procède de la sorte, naturellement, on va se rendre compte que peut-être un trafic que vous ne prenez pas chez votre voisin parce que votre fournisseur ne vous amène pas là-bas, en demandant d'annoncer vos préfixes là-bas, vous allez profiter de ça. Et puis, vous allez vous rendre compte qu'une bonne partie de votre trafic, peut-être c'est du Nollywood, donc vous allez choisir quelqu'un qui vous envoie au Nigeria. Une partie de votre trafic, peut-être, c'est en Afrique du Sud. Vous choisissez un upstream qui a une connectivité directe depuis l'Afrique pour redescendre vers l'Afrique du Sud. Donc, ce que nous proposons comme étape intermédiaire, c'est de s'assurer que toutes les optimisations possibles actuellement qu'on peut faire, vous le faites. Et puis, il y a aussi ce qu'on appelle le remote peering. C'est-à-dire que sans surcouche physique supplémentaire, vous pouvez peerer par le jeu du BGP à distance vers n'importe quel point qui est sur le continent. Donc, ce que nous proposons ici, c'est vrai qu'il y a le besoin fondamental, c'est de garder le trafic en Afrique. Si le besoin tel qu'il est, c'est cela, il y a aujourd'hui des mécanismes qui permettent d'optimiser le trafic actuel pour s'assurer qu'on ne fait pas de grands détours hors du continent avant de venir. Ça peut être une étape et puis petit à petit, on se rendra compte aussi qu'on on a la possibilité de faire venir du contenu que nous partons peut-être regarder ailleurs, localement, si le marché local est bien structuré et si l'ensemble des réseaux sont connectés localement. Donc, ça peut être une étape. Et puis, bon, petit à petit, on verra que l'objectif qu'on voulait viser via ce qu'on appelle point d'échange africain, on peut le réaliser différemment, mais sans envoyer beaucoup de nouveaux investissements en CAPEX et en OPEX pour les acteurs qui sont engagés dans le développement de ces infrastructures-là. Voilà ce que je peux dire là-dessus. Voilà. Et puis,
Thank you very much. I see a lot of interest for the topic. Before we go to the second part of this session 3, I just want to read a contribution for Sobeng Online. I believe, he said, I believe we have gotten to the point we need to consolidate by interconnecting national exchange points. Again, for example, GIGSA and ISPN connectivity over multiple submarine cable will be great. But we need government to wave high, cross-connected at the submarine cable landing stations. This brings cost benefit to small service providers and businesses. Such decentralized regional connectivity will be more beneficial for regional collaboration and continental sovereignty. So this is the contribution for Sobank Online. So I want to ask you to give applause to the two presenters when they are going back to their seats. Thank you very much for your contribution, Mr. Frank. If the photograph is around, we may take a brief picture, but we can do that at the end. We can do that at the end of a session to save time. Let's move to the second part of the session, this session. We mentioned that in the Coalition for Digital Africa, we have partners, we have projects. So we want to hear for another Mr. Boaten, I think, who is going to make a presentation from ATU. So I will let Mr. Boaten present, then we can have some discussion after his presentation.